guys, thanks for hopping on here. Of course, another Gators Breakdown Plus chat. Getting back in the groove of things here and starting to look ahead a bit. I know some starting to feel a little bit better about where this team is after since the bye week. UCF, Tennessee, Kentucky, in a lot of ways should have went 3-0 in that stretch, but come out of it 2-1. Bye week coming up before Georgia, of course. So thought it'd be a good time. Get together. I know the Discord's been lively anyway. A lot of good conversation anyway. But yeah, certainly we can kind of discuss here a lot of things since it is a bye week. No game to look forward to. But what do you need to see the rest of the year from this Gator team? What do you want to see from this Gator team? And I think we can even take that angle to it too. Of what do you need to see the rest of the year if Napier is head coach next season? I think that's an interesting angle here. I know a lot of people have already moved on. It doesn't really matter. But if there is another angle to it, or if there is a way Billy Napier can work out of the basement that maybe some of you have put him in, what can he do to turn it around? So pretty interesting conversations here, and we can go other places too if you want to. But figured that could be
recruiting. Sorry.
We'll talk about recruiting during recruiting season. Next question.
Full Dad Mullen, Dave.
I had to. Y'all set me up with that one. Y'all set me up with that one. I knew where y'all were going with that one.
Don't worry, Dave. If we just win football games, the recruits will turn around. That's all it takes, just a few more wins.
Hey, if nothing else, this whole scenario should be taught in, schools about why you should treat people well and try to be a good person, because my God, will you get some leeway if people like you?
That is true.
That's a lot more.
Yeah, well,
a lot more spies with honey than vinegar. Muschamp's the same way.
Yeah, good point. I mean, if
nobody, not a person, felt bad about Mullen or McElwain getting fired,
right?
But they roll out the red carpet, get them out.
Yeah, exactly.
That is a good point.
So, this might be kind of a dumb question, but with I know before the Kentucky game, we had no chances of beating Georgia. Everything was out, and it might still be that way for most people. But do you think that there is even a slight chance that we could win that game?
Oh yeah.
There is
a scenario.
Yeah, there is. I mean, I feel better about the chances. I won't say I feel better about Florida winning, but I do feel better about the chances Florida, pulls an upset and keeps it close. Now, a lot of people felt that way going into last year's game. Florida got the miracle comeback win at South Carolina. There was I think a lot of people were switching to Florida. They were picking the upset to happen in Jacksonville, and as Tony graciously put in the chat, halftime scores of the Florida-Georgia game the last 3 years: 24-0, 28-3, 26-7. That's your halftime score. So that game was over by halftime last year, pretty much. But no, I think you combine a couple things. As I have said, I do think Florida is a better team right now than they were Miami game, Texas A&M game. At the same time, that still means Florida can go 1-5 to finish the season, or 1-4 to finish the season. But combined, I think Florida being better and Georgia probably not as good. Now, maybe the Texas game was kind of their spark that lights the fire, and they start playing like that, or the second half of the Alabama game, and then maybe all for naught. But if Georgia plays like they have a majority of the year, it should be a better game than what we have seen the last few years.
I think all of us Gator fans in the chat are all like, we're all at prove it mode at this point.
There you
go. Because every single year he's done this to us. He's like that girl we're on a date with. We keep thinking we're going to get further, and she keeps, giving us, keeps, putting us on the hook.
But she's so nice.
I personally don't see it. I mean, I know that our defense has looked better. I also think that's a lot to do with the teams and the quarterbacks we've played. I'm just as guilty. Before the Tennessee game, I kind of thought Nico was better than he was, and then it was the Oklahoma game. He didn't really look too good. Once the competition started ramping up, he started seeing he was still young and still learning, kind of like DJ. So he had chances to put that game away for Tennessee versus us, and we all know that Napier lost that game. At least most of us think that way. But we have yet to play a good quarterback since Cam Ward. So I think Georgia, I kind of lean towards the second half in the Alabama and this Texas game. They've kind of found their gear. Maybe not Beck, because I think he didn't play too good, but I just don't trust it. We've been burnt so many times, I just can't trust it.
No,
I will.
Yeah, and I think that's the best way to put it too. And it was just said it is prove it mode still. I mean, you proven something the last 3 weeks? Sure, you've proven that you're not bottom of the SEC. And Florida was there 3 weeks ago. Florida was ranked 16th in a lot of SEC power polls. We now know Florida's not that bad. Now it's turn a corner, take the next step. You know, you are better than what you were going into that last bye week. But like you said, that for a lot of us, it's still prove it mode, and that's where I'm at. There's a lot to prove before the good feelings really start seeping in.
I'll tell you what was funny. During the Kentucky game, so my wife's used to seeing me sit on the couch because I refuse not to watch a Gator game. But sit on the couch, and when we score, it's like I don't get real excited. Well, we started scoring, and she was like, "Why aren't you getting excited?" And I was like, "I just can't. I'm too scared." But like when Cormani McClain did what he did, I think that was my moment that I was like, "I'm pumped now."
Yeah, I agree. That was an awesome moment.
That was really cool.
For sure, definitely was.
He also had a nice pass breakup at the end too.
Yeah.
You know what? He had a great game. I specifically watched the rewind and watched him. He had one blown assignment, but as soon as it happened, you can see him. He claps his hands. He knew what he did wrong.
He took ownership. That. Yeah. He knew it. He knew it was on him. Yeah, it was that crossing route.
Yes, the crosser.
Yeah.
I'll come back to that, but I know Chotch, you were trying to get in there for something.
Well, I was going to say, I do think that I wasn't paying attention there for the last few minutes. I don't know what y'all talked about, but I will say I think that the key to beating Georgia, at least so far, has been taking deep shots. So, I mean, that's what Alabama did a lot, or not even just necessarily deep shots, but taking a lot of taking shots. And that's the one thing Florida does very well. Lagway is just aggressive shots. But, I mean, that could also ruin your entire game if that doesn't go well.
Yeah, they also put their DBs in conflict. And remember, that was probably the worst tackling Georgia performance I have seen since Kirby Smart's been there. Like, Alabama was breaking tackles left and right. You know, it'd be a 10-yard, 15-yard pass, and they'd break a tackle and off to the races a little. So now they are missing two of their top safeties, are going to be out the first half of the game. They were ejected for targeting against Texas. So, hey, look, that might be going to your point there. Maybe it is.
Take advantage.
Advantage. Attack early through the air.
Exactly.
But you best bet, you know, after seeing what DJ Lagway put on film against Kentucky, Kirby Smart's going to put in a game plan to limit those deep downfield explosives.
Hey, Dave, knowing that, if we win the coin toss, do you think we take the ball first?
Boom. Here's the thing. I would love to say yes.
Do not take the ball first.
I would love to say yes, and that goes on to do some great things. But you know what? I go back to last year, and you could not have asked for a better start for Florida against Georgia, and it didn't matter. So I don't know. You know, they used Trey Wilson to death. Trey had a nice catch and run. His touchdown Florida. We're all excited, and that was very, very short-lived.
Well, Billy's the master of the middle eight, so you know we're going to take that ball.
I worry about pass protection versus Georgia.
Yeah.
I'm taking those deep shots. It's not Central Florida. It's not, or even Kentucky. I mean, Kentucky's defensive line is good, but it's not Georgia good, I don't think. We'll see. I mean, DJ Lagway is going to be the difference. I mean, a deep threat. I mean, every time Alabama's beat them, it's been downfield passing. I mean, you look at every game, even this year. I mean, they're throwing the ball all over the place.
Yeah, I mean, this offense it's more explosive with Lagway. I mean, you can just tell. You're going to take your lumps with him, obviously, because he's a true freshman, and he's thrown quite a few. I mean, he's thrown some picks, but he's also thrown where I've noticed that he's thrown the ball too soon on some routes to where a receiver would turn around and sail over his head. Or I think one time a receiver turned around and was able to catch it but you can see that. But he'll get more practice with that, especially, being the starting guy now, and then he's got a bye week also. So hopefully that helps him a little bit too.
Yeah,
a lot of those long
Georgia's going to
passes
bring
he was
something he's
throwing
never seen
against
before.
Kentucky and Tennessee were dimes that, while they look good, they were tight. And I think with better corners like you're going to see at Georgia and Texas, I think a lot of those may turn out to be interceptions against better teams.
I think DJ's gotten better because he knows that, from here on out, he's going to start regardless of, whether it's for us or if he ever transfers, God forbid. But he knows he's the guy from now on. Before, I feel like he knew that, if he did bad, Mertz would come bail him out. But now Mertz isn't there, and he's number one.
Yeah, I mean, look, we know the next step against Georgia is going to be they're going to adjust, and now it's going to be, you're going to have to settle for some passes now. You're not going to be able to chuck every ball down the field with the adjustments they'll make. We'll need to see the intermediate open up a bit too as well. But look, he did what he was supposed to against Kentucky. If Kentucky's going to give that to you, and they gave it to him a lot, probably even more if more passes were only 14 attempts, not a whole lot of plays to begin with either for Florida, but out there taking advantage when he could. Probably could have even more if more passes were called. But I'm ready to see what defenses are going to do to try and combat that. And do you start using his legs a bit more as well? And that short to intermediate range, that those are the next steps for DJ Lagway. But certainly gives defenses a lot more to think about and a lot more to prepare for as far as an explosive offense and how to stop it.
Dave, don't you think now is the perfect time to just do an Urban Meyer and switch this thing up and start spreading guys out, doing everything that Billy hasn't done? Let Russ get some involvement in there. This is the perfect time. You have the guy to do it under center. This is the time. Start showing stuff you have never seen before.
Yeah,
I don't think Billy knows how to do that.
Yeah, if you're going to, yes, going to your point. If you're going to your point,
to their credit, they have done more spread concepts with Lagway under center. I mean, they've gone 5 wide.
Stuff is still in there, and it makes my stomach boil every time. Spread that shit out, man.
They will spread. They will spread it out, but there's still a tight end involved. There's still, a running back getting motion.
Actually, one of the 5 wides is a tight end, so it really doesn't count. I mean, they got Hicks and that lined up the slot. So.
You are seeing some of it, but no,
going wide receivers out there.
Yeah, you're seeing some of it. I do agree. If you're going to do it, now is the time to do it because of you're not relying on Mertz anymore, so you can you can test the ball down the field a bit more. Test the ball down the field with those receivers. Hopefully they're healthy enough as well. But yeah, if there's ever a time to do it, and with a bye week, you made the quarterback change. Now would be the time to change it. I don't know if Billy Napier will. It's just not in his DNA.
Especially he ain't gonna change anything.
Especially all I gotta say, and I'm dropping it. All I gotta say, Billy, let's go. I'm done.
Especially if now Napier knows defenses may play to stop the deep ball. My thought is Napier's going to be like, okay, well, that opens up the run game for me now.
Yeah, that's exactly what he wants. Let them run the ball more.
Yeah, so it's still going to fall into what he wants to do offensively. Because, look, even with these deep passes, it's 1-2 receivers at most. It's still not 4 or 5 wide and 3-4 of the guys are going down the field. It's still going deep within the parameters of a Billy Napier offense. So, I'd love to see Badger and DK and Wilson and Tank out there together and Mizell, in that mix as well. I still like what we've seen from the tight ends at that point, but we're not saying 4 or 5 wide with receivers each and every play. But yeah, I do agree at some points in the game, maybe start leaning into it a bit more of Lagway 4 or 5 receiver sets, testing the ball down the field a bit more.
Look, it's all Steve Matthews wants for Christmas. Just give it to him.
Man, you could really get some guys open if you get Trey on the field with like DK and Tank. I mean, how many fast guys do they have to cover that?
Yeah.
You know, because they're going to put their best cover corners on DK and Trey. But I don't know if Georgia has somebody on defense that could keep up with Tank Hawkins.
Yeah, I don't know why. I mean,
yeah, that's not a
At least
shot.
try.
Yeah, that's not a shot at anybody on Georgia. That's anybody,
Yeah.
any defense out there.
I mean, that's
take
like saying
Mizell
that,
on one side, Tank on the other, and say y'all run go ball.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like saying that Alabama in 2008 or 9, whatever, didn't have somebody on that defense that could stop or they could catch Jeff Demps in the open field. You know, greatest defense ever assembled, but you know, Olympic speed's different.
Yeah.
Before,
on
Dave,
this note,
talking about what you said about Billy wanting to run the ball more.
Yeah.
Let's not forget that Kentucky, not a good offense, gave Georgia fits running the ball.
yeah. Yeah, I mean,
Right.
Everything changes once you get into a game as well. There'll be some adjustments going there. If Napier finds some early success running the ball, you know he's going to stick with it. But yeah, I think all we're just saying is maybe implement it a bit more. It's not going to be this drastic switch in the middle of the season going 4 or 5 receivers and that being the main crux of your offense. We know that's not going to happen, but maybe some glimpses of some more 4 or 5 receiver threats and downfield threats. On that note, I will let you guys know I'm going to have Seth Varnador and Bud Davis, and we're going to record on Thursday. I don't know when I'm going to release it. I will release it early for you guys, for being Plus members. I don't know if I'm going to release it Thursday, so I guess it wouldn't be early, but there's not a lot of good play in releasing something on a late Thursday because the weekend's just around the corner, so I might save the episode for everybody else on Sunday. But I'm going to record with those guys on Thursday evening. So Seth will give us his thoughts on, some of that, the questions that we're talking about right now too. We want to get their thoughts on it and a lot of what the data shows as well from Bud.
Hey guys, we've changed the offense because we got Powerburner at fullback now.
Yeah, you are seeing some unbalanced lines. You're seeing some Pyburn in the backfield, under center there. So there's some creativity that we've seen.
Hey, Amy and George taking out 2 guys at once.
Yeah, I like what I saw from Cam Waits when he was in there too, against Kentucky at left guard. Maybe Florida, finding some more depth at that spot to go along with Najee Harris. So certainly, I mean, look, everybody knows. We were talking about it here yesterday. The comments I made about the offensive line before the season, much maligned. But I'll give credit where credit is due as well. They have made strides there. Pass blocking, I still think there's too much pressure overall. DJ helps you with that, but still, it is a group that has started playing better the last few weeks.
Yep, they're going to have to keep it up because it's going to get harder.
Yeah.
Something kind of unrelated. Related, but unrelated at the same time. Y'all were saying when it started this about Georgia, talk about the halftime scores of the Florida-Georgia game.
Yeah.
Go back and look at the whole history of the Florida-Georgia game. There might be like 3 close games in the whole history of the game.
Dude, I have said that. Everybody knows that's my favorite football game ever. But everybody says, it's a rival game. Everything can happen. There's really not a lot of upsets in the Florida-Georgia game.
Literally, it's like
one of them, 05, 14-10, we won with Chris Leak with that stupid orange patch we had on our shoulder.
Yeah.
It's awful.
Yeah.
Hey, that 2012 game was like one of my
College game day was there.
endings.
That was like a big game.
Yeah.
Yeah, the 2012 was a real brutal ending.
Yeah. But there's not many upsets in the series. There's really not. I mean, the biggest one that hops out to me is 2002 Florida. Gave Georgia their only loss that year. The year Muschamp in 2014. Thought he saved his job at that, only to be fired a couple of weeks later.
Hey, do we repeat that this year?
It could be. Like that's why Napier's job isn't really safe, even with a Georgia win, because everybody thought that with Muschamp as well, and he was fired a couple weeks later.
In fairness to Napier and the Muschamp, 2024 Georgia is not 2014 Georgia.
Yeah.
I mean,
you're right. It would mean a lot more.
It means a lot more than. I mean, 2014 Georgia. I mean, what were they, like 2-3 losses that year?
Yeah, probably. I mean, that would have been 2014.
Mark Richt special.
I think they still went to the SEC championship game that year. Then maybe.
I don't remember. No, because wasn't that in Missouri?
Might have been Missouri. Yep. It just went in my head too.
Missouri got
14. Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Yep, it was.
by
Yeah.
Alabama.
42-13
that was the year
Alabama.
Missouri whooped us at home, right? That was
that was the game Muschamp got fired.
Yeah, that was the Muschamp. Yeah, that was pretty much Muschamp.
Or
Yeah, I got cussed.
it
by
may
my
not have
dad so
been,
bad
but
I
that was
joined in on the chance.
that was the ugly Muschamp Missouri game.
Yeah, it was the 42-13 game.
Yeah, the one where they only passed the ball for like.
Yeah.
Yeah, because literally that was the game before the Florida Georgia game, and they're like, "There's no way he makes it to Georgia." Then he beat Georgia, and we're like, "Oh shit, he's coming back." And then he got fired again the next week. So
He got fired again.
got fired for real. That
It was
time.
42-13, and the team stats were. This is what was ridiculous about it. Florida had 17 first downs to Missouri 7. Florida had 283 total yards. Missouri only had 119.
Yeah, that was the stat I was thinking.
Yeah,
of right
yeah.
there. Yeah.
Florida had 6 turnovers in that game.
6 turnovers. Yeah,
We
it
had
was
like
my
they
wife's
ran-
first ever home game. I took her the first time I've ever taken her to a Gator game, and that was the one I took her to. That was her first game.
Yeah, I was. Let's see. I had just turned 17, I guess. My dad cussed me so bad in front of everybody because I joined in on the chance. He was like, "That's ridiculous. You're a Gator fan. You got to support them." I'm like, whatever, man. Screw this.
That was the first time I ever left the game early, regardless of the outcome. I was just completely. I was done. I mean, it was miserable.
Yeah,
He didn't believe in it. We had to sit to the very bitter end, watch the alma mater get sung and everything else.
Hey, 2018, if we hit that flea flicker, do we win that game?
What was that? The Frank Jefferson flea flicker?
Yeah.
Yeah, missed it by like a step.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, certainly, that was early in the game too, right? I believe.
First play of the game, I think.
Was it? Yeah.
I literally think it was like our first drive.
You'd like to think it would. I don't know.
I just remember that goal line stand. Defense came to play that game.
Yeah. That's what Will and I were talking about.
More interesting.
T-Wit, I can't understand a word you're saying.
Oh, now. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. It's just like really sounds like a buzz.
He's on the connect mic.
Yeah. And how about this time?
There you
Is
go.
better?
There you go.
I think it's more interesting if CJ Henderson plays that game. Because remember, he was out and we
That's
started
right. Yeah.
DJ McWilliams.
Yeah.
And he got bullied by
He
Georgia.
got bullied. That's right. I forgot about that. Yeah.
That was a knee pads game too, wasn't it? Like a delay game because he wouldn't cover his knee pads up or something stupid.
And then the next year, 2019, is when we came out with the wrong wristbands.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
I still don't know if I fully believe that story. I feel like that was
But yeah, going back to that,
thing.
there's not really a whole lot of upsets in Florida. It's not like Oklahoma, Texas. There's a ton of upsets in that game. Florida, Georgia, most of the time, the favorites win, and it's like, as somebody else pointed out, it's usually not even close.
One thing that may be in our favor this year, which is, some people have a rumor that I focus on officiating, but Florida is leading the SEC in fewest penalties per game. I think this may be the first time ever in years.
Wow, you just ruined it. You just jinxed it.
Yeah.
There's going to be 20 flags on us.
We have high character players who do not penalize.
Hey, I'll give some credit there, though. That has something that has been a thorn in Napier's side too.
Yeah.
Find the
Pre-snap
extension.
penalties too.
Trying to go see where I could look that up.
Oh, I haven't been back in a while, but I remember y'all were talking about the Florida Georgia game. As much as I want Napier out of here, and I know Dave that game's near to him and dear to his heart too. If he beats Georgia, I'll be screaming Napier's name all the way from Woodstock to Athens, baby.
I will till we lose to LSU.
Hey, that's fine. That's fine.
Now, let me go. You said Bull. You said leads the SEC.
Yeah, I said we're the best in the well, that was with the comment they radio made during the Kentucky game.
I'm going to so penalties per game. Yeah, we are tied for Missouri, 5.7.
Can you look up what last year was real quick?
Hey, I don't know how much that really. Let's see here. Missouri's still a good team, so tied for Missouri. Oklahoma is third. Auburn's fourth. Tied with Vanderbilt.
Okay, well.
Kentucky is sixth. Texas is 7. Arkansas is 8. Mississippi State is 9. So Georgia is 9th as well. LSU is 11th. Texas A&M's 11th. South Carolina's 13. Tennessee 14. So it's not really making a difference in win-loss record.
Yeah, the better teams are more penalized. So.
And heck, we remember under Alabama's always been a penalized team under Saban, even though I know a lot of people said they caught a lot of breaks, but they've been a penalized team, I believe. Florida under Urban was was never really all that high as far as.
Isn't this like the first time mid-year we've averaged over 30 points per game with Napier?
It feels that way.
Yeah, because he's always hovered around that 28-29 mark in his first couple of years here.
And it took the second half.
I think we're at 30.8.
The offense really get going.
I think 30.8 and 31, something like that.
What?
I mean, Lagway has a lot to do with that, but. Wouldn't it be nice if like Lagway,
48 last week had a lot to do with that too?
If our offense scores like 21 and then Beck turns it over like 3 or 4 times?
That'd be a good dream, Dave.
Yeah, so Florida right now is 50th at 30.9. Guess who is one spot? Guess who is one spot above Florida?
Who?
Colorado.
Look at that.
2 spots ahead of Florida is UCF.
We're in good company.
Yeah, but Texas A&M is 4 spots ahead. So there you go. Georgia is, for comparison, 36 with 33 points a game. So about 2 more points a game than Florida. So Florida's at 30.9. Georgia's at 33.
I don't feel like Georgia's been as good under Mike Bobo as they were under Todd Monken. I think Bobo's kind of like made them regress a little bit.
I never thought Bobo was a good offensive coordinator.
Oh no, me either.
Well, I mean,
No Bowers.
They lost
No
Bowers.
definitely helps.
Yeah.
McConkey, Ra Thomas, Colby Young. I mean, they lost a lot of guys that could. I mean, they're struggling with that right now too.
Yeah. Miami's second in the country, 48.3, and Tennessee is 14th with 39.6. So there you go. I'll get out of that.
If we can stop the run, we'll have a chance. I mean, a puncher's chance.
Think, like with Tennessee, all those points came from like I think those 3 teams they played that like.
Yeah.
I mean, they haven't been scoring a lot of points against like other like equal competition. Now they just scored 30 on Alabama, but
I heard Georgia's got a weak ass running back.
Oh, here we go.
Maybe he'll be drunk during the game.
Hey, here's a stat for you guys. I wanted to break it down by conference games since Dave, certainly because we know Tennessee and we all previewed it where Tennessee certainly has gotten a lot of points outside of the conference. LSU leads the SEC in conference scoring with 33 points a game. Your Florida Gators are number 2 in SEC scoring with 32.5. Did you know that?
No, that's interesting.
And that's one more game for Florida too. Florida playing one more game in the average.
Well, let's keep that up the next game.
Yeah. There you go.
Go DJ, go DJ, go.
Yep. LSU, Florida, Texas, Alabama, Georgia are you top 5.
Just don't go down.
That's a tweet worthy stat right there, guys.
It is actually. You should tweet it out.
I'm about to do it right now. We're going into the world of Dave Waters right now.
The other Dave's just reporting news right now.
Well, it wouldn't have happened if you wouldn't have brought up Tennessee scoring, so I had to go look it up.
We kind of 50-50'd it,
Yeah, there we go. Here's a fun game for you guys. Who is dead last in points per game in conference play?
Auburn,
Mississippi State.
Nope.
Auburn.
Nope.
Oklahoma.
It
in
is.
SEC
It is
in
Oklahoma.
general.
It is.
Oklahoma. Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Well,
Oklahoma.
they're
And
terrible.
here's the thing: Kentucky is next to last, 14.2.
Yeah, their offense, man. I'm giving credit to our defense, but that quarterback is terrible.
I don't know if he's as bad as we made him look, because once he started throwing against a defense, I thought he could take care. He thought he could take care of. He looked like a deer in the headlights. Like he did not know what was going on. Like, how is this defensive line getting any pressure on me? It was like he didn't expect it.
But Vandegrift won Elite 11, man.
Yeah, I tell you.
Yeah, former 5-star.
That makes it okay.
And something you said earlier, Dave, you said, you don't know whether Florida has turned the corner, whether we're elite yet. But I heard somebody say something, and I was.
Oh, I know we're not going to be elite. I mean, much better, not elite.
Yeah. But what he said was, you have to play competent football before you can start playing.
Yeah.
Good football.
Good point.
And that's what we're doing. We're playing competent. We don't look lost out there anymore.
Yeah. That's what I said. And I've said, look, no doubt about it, to be Florida is a better team. It's just, I don't know what that equals with the upcoming schedule. It could mean wins. It could mean close losses. It could mean these teams are still much better than you. I have no idea. I'm still wait and see mode. Do I feel better? I absolutely feel better.